And from his eyes, religion, we're kind of mixed up. You get all these different religions and who's right, and this person says this and this person says that. He says, and he told me, he said, my father is Jewish and my mother's Protestant.
Oh, good.
You know, something. You know, and no. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you anyway. No, it wasn't Carl. And so I said, well, and he said, I only go by invitation, when somebody invites me. So I went. I said, will you come to church with me? And then he started rambling something else, And I said, we talked a little bit. I said, well, I'm a pastor at this church. And he just like, his whole countenance changed. Oh, you're the guy that stands up there and preaches. I said, yeah, I do that. And hardly ever do I tell somebody I'm a pastor. Because people form opinions. I don't want people to think, I want it to be just Jesus and them. I'm just saying, hey, come here. Meet Jesus. That's all I'm doing, right? I don't want them to think anything about me. But it was the right time to say something. And so he began to say, wow, that's something else. I'll have to do that. I'll have to come and visit you. And he says, and I'll do it too. And I said, well, really? I'm really in disbelief. And I said, well, can I'll write my church and where it's at, and I'll write the service time. He said, oh, here, use a card. I mean, his countenance changed 100%. And so, and I walked out of there. And I just began to weep like I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to fight it back. But, and I was wondering, why am I weeping like this? And it hit me that, I was limiting God. I was being the deciding factor of, okay, God, how could you love a guy like this? He's just so unlovable. And the thought that, what happened was so different. It was exceedingly abundantly above all that I could ever ask or think. Now, whether he comes or not, I don't know. But that day, a victory was won. In my heart. And I thought about the children of Israel, how it says that if you read Psalm 78, over and over again, God showed them goodness and kindness. And over again, they complained, they murmured, they did not believe God. Their heart was not steadfast with God. God was showing them over and over again His loving kindness, His love, He had saved them. He had brought them out of Egypt, out of bondage. And then it says, and they tempted God and they limited the Holy One of Israel. And they said, can God furnish a table in the wilderness? They did not believe God. And that just boggles my mind. How could they not believe God? They saw the miracles. They saw what He had done. They saw that He had taken them out of Egypt with a strong hand. But you know what? Miracles does not mean that you're going to believe. Jesus, he upbraided the cities that He went to because they saw the miracles that He did, and they repented not. In John, it talks about that even though they had seen all the miracles that Jesus did, they still did not believe. And how we can taste of the Lord and see that He's good and experience the goodness of God. Yet, there can be areas of our heart that limit Him. Right? That limit the Holy One of Israel. And I limited God. Thinking that God didn't know how to reach this man. Or that even that this man was even thinking about the Lord. We don't know what's going on in the heart of a person, in their soul. And that's what's exciting about walking with God, is that when you believe God, and you believe His promises, and when God says that He'll make you an able minister of the New Testament, that He'll enable you, that He'll go with you, that He'll work with you, that He'll confirm the Word with signs following, that He'll do these things. Remember that these signs shall follow them that believe. I think sometimes we may not see some of these things because we really don't believe. You know, we don't have faith. You know, Jesus didn't have to spend very much time with anybody, and He would often mention their faith. You know, I wrote down a few of them. I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. Remember that? The centurion asking for a servant. One time Jesus said, "Where is your faith?" You know the word believe comes from the word faith. They're both the same. They both have the same Greek word for that. Or they both believe is the same word as faith. Your faith has saved you. Go in peace. Daughter, be of good comfort. Your faith has made you whole. Jesus one time, He said, when the Son of Man returns, will He really find faith on the earth? And so, my testimony tonight, and I had something to go along with it, but I want to have some time for prayer. But the testimony is this: God is able. I mean, that's the testimony. I mean, that He, with God, all things are possible. Right? Remember, Sarah laughed. Me have a baby?
I would too.
Right? See, there said I would too, and she's laughing. See? Is there anything too difficult for the Lord? That was said to Abraham. The New Testament version of that is, with God, all things are possible. Lord, how can I have a baby? I've not known a man. With God, all things are possible. You see, God, what we call a miracle is just God, the way God moves in what He wants to do. And that He is. Everything He touches is miraculous. You want to see some signs and wonders? Go out tonight, and I was going to say look at the moon, but it was full a few nights ago. Beautiful. It looks like you can reach out and touch it. And the Word says that creation speaks. Right? It speaks. Psalm 19, it speaks. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament show forth His handiwork. God is wanting you to believe, and He's speaking to you over and over and over.